shakeups right now. The big shakeup, if you're going to talk about reps and playing time, is at the running back spot. Savion Morrison just entered the transfer portal, so Nebraska's short of one running back going into the weekend. And Coach Frost said that there's reps to be taken Saturday, and he said guys like Marquis Stepp and Gabe Urban, or not Gabe Urban, but you get my drift here. There's more carries to be made or to be taken here with the loss of Savion Morrison, and that's unfortunate because he was a talented young man, and obviously it comes down to playing time, and you're going to see more names go into the portal, and it's this is how college football is now. It's not just a Nebraska problem and a problem because you just got rid of 4 coaches. It's going to happen. Nebraska, they'll bring in plenty of guys from the transfer portal, as many as they lose. So, I mean, that's just the start of that. So, other than that, I think you just see kind of business as usual. On the injury front as well, Deontay Williams at safety has been injured. He's back at practice and is in line to play on Saturday if all goes well. And freshman tight end Thomas Fidone is a full go as well. So maybe expect to see him get some reps that he hasn't got into a game yet this year. He's been injured most of the year. So maybe you see a couple of packages with Fidone to see what he can do going into next year as well. So, kind of Nebraska getting healthier a little bit. If you can get healthy at this time of the year, with that one big blow with losing JoJo Nobin and heart and soul of your defense, we'll see how those guys rally around it. But I expect you to see pretty much the same type of, rotation of what you've seen all year on both sides of the ball.
Folks are going to be excited to see Fidone in the ball game, and as you mentioned, in various packages, and see if he gets maybe a few targets and see what he can do, because obviously his signing caused a lot of excitement. As for Savion Morrison, 30 carries for $116 on the ground, 3.9 per carry, 3 touchdowns. And Ramir Johnson, Jaquez Yant, Marquis Stepp, Gabe Irvin. When you look at that running back room, did this pretty much play out the way you expected in regards to carries? Because Ramir Johnson really established himself down the stretch and took hold of the role after it was just kind of hanging in the balance for a number of weeks early.
Yeah, no, I was a little bit surprised that Ramir he grabbed that and ran with it. Once he got the job, and I really thought we'd see a lot more of Marquis Stepp, the transfer from USC. So he's been kind of missing. And then you got flashes of Jaquez, and you kind of want to see him carry the ball more. There's been a few surprises, and I thought you would have seen a lot more Gabe Urban, to tell you the truth, because he looked pretty good last year. So it's been kind of a strange room to kind of read all year long, and I don't know. We'll see if there's a difference now since Coach Held's no longer in charge of those guys, and maybe we'll see some differences here with Ron Brown calling the shots, and maybe you do see some of these other guys get some more opportunities. And with Savion Morrison, just a few weeks ago, he'd been talking and with the media and had said how patient he had to be, had to learn how to be patient, to get that playing time. And but frankly, they didn't even suit him up for the Ohio State game, and he hasn't played since the Michigan State game, I believe. And so it's hard to say, because they say that job has been open, every week of the season. That job is wide open, and whoever practices the best is supposed to be getting the playing time. So we'll see if if that changes a little bit, and we just see more of a rotation, and trying to find like the hot guy. That could be a possibility that we see on Saturday, because frankly, they're going to need to run the ball against Wisconsin. I mean, this is a you know how Wisconsin plays. This is a game of real estate. You want to keep the ball as long as you possibly can, and win that position battle game, and grind it out. Probably not going to be a very high scoring game, and the problem with Nebraska is that they have not shown that type of patience to stick with the running game. I think Husker fans are just clamoring to see maybe Nebraska just try to dedicate 60% of the offense to the run game, and see what they can do. But Coach Frost doesn't seem like he's very patient to do that, and just wants to run that wide open, high flying offense. That yeah, they put up numbers, but they haven't produced wins doing that.
If Nebraska is able to run the ball against Wisconsin, they would be the first team this year. Michigan moved it a little bit. I would have to check the numbers. I watched that game. They were the only ones that could reasonably move the ball. Even the Notre Dame game, if you look at the final score, it is so deceiving, 42-13. Notre Dame had 2 pick sixes in the last 3 minutes of that game, and it just kind of broke loose, and it had nothing to do with the Wisconsin defense. That was a 13-10 game midway through the fourth quarter. So Wisconsin's giving up 63 yards per game. That's number 1 in America, 63 rushing yards per game. They're number 1 or 2 across the board with Georgia in everything, points against, yards against, all of it. They are just
Yeah.
just suffocating everybody.
Yeah.
Week after week after week after week. And I got to think that Michigan offense would be the best that they faced.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. But my goodness, Purdue's got a good offense. They didn't do anything against Wisconsin. They scored 13 points.
Shut down David Bell. I mean, basically just pushed David Bell into the ground. Yeah. I mean, what a physical defense it is. And yeah, Nebraska's got to be ready. And we talked to Samari Torre yesterday about that exact thing, and he knows that those corners are going to have their hands all over them, and you're not going to get a clean break off the line, and you just got to be prepared to play the most physical game of your life. So yeah, Wisconsin's a scary good defense.
Yeah. They played Penn State week 1 right out of the gate, and both of those two teams it was a physical, hard-hitting game, and those two defenses went after it. And then they, of course, lost the 3 games early and then righted the ship. And what I think they did was basically say, okay, Graham Mertz, you're going to throw the ball like 7 or 8 times a game, and we are just going to like bully people up front and get back to Wisconsin football. But since they got on this roll, now the last few weeks, he's become more comfortable, and the run game's been so dominant that they've started to open it up. And now the last few weeks, it's been more like 20, 23 pass attempts and getting the ball downfield a little bit. And then it's like, really look out. I think they'll be in the Big Ten championship game. They hold the division under control. They control their own destiny. So they've got, of course, Nebraska this week. They've got Minnesota the final week of the season, which is not going to be an easy assignment by any stretch. But they do own the division.